a few minutes to give you an update on where we are in Anderson School District 3. As you'll remember, we came back in August after a 3-month shutdown of our school buildings. When we started, we had many questions to be answered. We had plans in place, and now we've taken 90 days, the first semester, and we've implemented those plans. And as a result of that, we've been very successful. So I first of all want to take this opportunity to just say a great big thank you to our staff, our students, our board members, our parents, and our community. We've all worked together to reopen our schools to face-to-face instruction during a very difficult time. And we've come through with flying colors. I'm more confident today than I've ever been that we're doing the right thing for students in Anderson School District 3 by being here face-to-face 5 days a week. Hats off to our staff on the mitigation efforts that we've put in place to curtail the transmission of the COVID-19 virus. Studies came out in the past few weeks from CDC and from MUSC that talked about how studies confirm that there's minimal transmission of the virus in schools, and it's due to the things that we've put in place to keep our schools clean. From the cleaning protocols, to the spacing, to isolation and quarantine methods we have in place. Our students and our staff have done a great job wearing masks. We've now implemented even and have the capability to do some COVID testing in our schools. So this lets us know immediately if we have an active case, and we can start the process of contact tracing and isolation so that transmission is reduced. During this time, we've also expanded breakfast and lunch offerings. Some of you may remember during Christmas holidays when we sent home food. We'll do that again during the spring break time. We'll send home food for 5 days, and so you'll get information about doing that. But what that's done is provided a service to our community to know that you're going to have the opportunity to have those breakfast and lunch meals sent home. I also like to take a few minutes and just up-to-date you on academics. You know, there were a lot of questions coming back to school, but what I can applaud is the efforts in our schools to keep that laser focus on learning. Of course, the foundation of everything is keeping students safe, and we're doing a great job of that. But in our classrooms, I'm just amazed with everything going on, the high quality instruction our teachers continue to offer. This is a time when many times they're offering face-to-face instruction and virtual instruction at the same time. And they've done a great job meeting the needs of both groups in their classroom. As we move into second semester, we're going to focus on meeting the gaps we see some in our students in our math, especially in our ELA. We know that some laser focus on these areas will help us see some growth, and we're looking forward to offering some after-school opportunities for that and some in-house opportunities just to look at, especially in math, where some of our students may have fallen behind. Now, while that may sound bad, I'll also tell you that statewide math regression has happened, and when I compare Anderson 3 regression to statewide regression, our students have not regressed as much, which is a positive thing, but we also want to pull them back and even exceed the grade levels they're on. So we're going to focus on those things and have some opportunities to move students along. We're also opening up on our website, it's already open, our registration for K4 and K5 for next year. And so if you have students that will meet those age requirements, I encourage you to go ahead and get them registered. But I also want to send out an invitation for those of you who maybe were hesitant to send your present 4-year-old or 5-year-old back to school because you were just a little concerned with the virus transmission. It's never too late to go ahead and send your 4-year-old and 5-year-old back to instruction. And I'd say the start of a new semester is a great time. So if you're a parent of a 4-year-old or present 5-year-old and you haven't had them in school, but you think, I'd like to start them, go ahead and reach out to the principal in your school and let's get that process started, because there's nothing that's more valuable to a child, especially in early childhood education, than that face-to-face contact with a teacher every day. In our high school, we're finishing the first round of our new block schedule, and those students will be wrapping up those first semester 4 classes and starting a new set of classes. With that, we're also, we'll start a new round of classes at Anderson Institute of Technology, and I'm excited that those numbers continue to rise, and it just gives our students more and more opportunities for expanded course offerings and credentials and just being completers in so many areas. We're also excited that we're going to have a return to our district spelling bee. In past years, we've had school spelling bees and district spelling bees where the champion went to a regional bee. And over the past couple of years, that's fallen by the wayside. And so earlier in the school year, Michelin came to us and gave us the opportunity to have a school bees and a district bee, and then even offered to support our winner going to the national bee. And we appreciate Michelin making that offer. But a few weeks ago, the Carolina Panthers stepped in and made an offer statewide to all of us. So now the Carolina Panthers are actually going to sponsor our bees and sponsor the champions, the regional champion going to that national bee. So we'll have a return to our district spelling bee that will be held February 23rd at 6 p.m. in the Media Center at Crescent. And it will take the spelling bee winners from each school, and they'll have a limited number of visitors who can come and be there as we do our district spelling bee. So we're excited to bring that back. It just is another area that we start to move back to what we think of as normalcy in the school system. I'm also excited that we've been able to resume some extracurricular activities during the fall semester and even into the winter semester. This was the first season for our women's golf program, and we actually had a state qualifier, Savannah Chambers, who qualified for the state meet in women's golf. So she'll actually go down in the record books as our first state qualifier on the first year of the program. Recently, our wrestling team won the 2A region championship. This is our first year in Region 2A and our first conference championship or region championship in division. So we're excited for wrestling and to see where they'll go. Both of our varsity basketball teams are still in the hunt for being region runner-ups, and so we'll know in the next week or so how they fare. Our volleyball team was region runner-up. We had I think our cross-country girls team was region runner-up, and then our football and cross-country boys team both finished third in the region. So being able to resume athletics is just another area where our students get that full school experience, get to hone in on something they really enjoy. Our skeet shooting team and our Crescent Anglers continue to represent us well, and we continually have state and national qualifiers coming through both of these programs. So it's just a good time to be back in school and to have students participating in things. Unfortunately, the band competitions haven't resumed yet, but our band program under Miss Terry is still working hard and achieving that excellence. They just haven't had an opportunity to compete. Our robotics teams are still doing their school-based STEM activities, but at the moment those state and regional competitions are on hold, but we're looking forward to the time when we have opportunities to go back to those competitions. We also had a first in the state for the young entrepreneurship in South Carolina. Sydney Broadwell, her project was #1 in the Yes Carolina competition, and she beat 3 other finalists who were from very big high schools. So we commend Sydney and her sponsor Heather Dickerson at the high school on just an achievement there. And we're just excited about all the opportunities we're able to offer our students. Another program that's always been a highlight for us is FFA, and unfortunately with that, most of the shows this year were canceled, but our program is still running strong, and we look forward to the next opportunities for our students to be able to participate in these things. So we're bringing a sense of normalcy back to the extent we can, and I again especially want to thank our teachers and our students and our parents, because in every one of these cases there's been stops and starts with the virus and maybe a direct contact and having to quarantine and having to maybe take a week off or whatever, but we've gone through those processes and we've continued to compete, and it just says a lot about our community. It says a lot about our Anderson 3 staff that we're in this together and we're going to do the best thing for students every day, and that's what we're about. When I think about some of the facilities improvements going on, I hope you've noticed that we've started moving ground on our track project. The weather has hampered us a little bit, but we're still moving steadily to be on track with a summer completion date for our new track and field area. We'll have bleachers and a new practice field there in between. We're excited about how that's going to come together and look, and so just maybe as we have drier weather, you'll see things really take off in that area. You may have noticed, especially you Flat Rock parents, that there's a new digital sign in the front of Flat Rock Elementary School, and we're working to get that fully functional, and next in line will be Star Elementary and Ive Elementary to get a fully digital sign very similar to what's at our other locations. We've, of course, enhanced our Chromebook supply with a focus on digital learning. We've taken some of the ESSER money we've gotten from the state and invested in more Chromebooks, especially for our K-5, 1 and 2 grade levels. Those were the levels that were mostly classroom based, and we're working to get them more one-to-one. And we've added flat panels in our buildings. So there's still many things going on in our buildings to enhance the facilities in Anderson School District 3. As we move into the second semester, I encourage you to pay constant attention to our website. It's always up to date with information, with the live feed, with the news that's going on. There's so much there that will tell you about what's going on in Anderson School District 3 that if you have a question, that's the best place to go. And the other thing I'd encourage you to do, if you haven't already done so, is to download the Anderson 3 app. It will be right there on your smartphone, and it's just an easy way to access information real time and to always be up to date on what's going on in Anderson School District 3. Again, I want to thank you for being a valuable member of our team, for what you do every day. I can't think of a person's job in the district who hasn't had to change because of COVID. But I also haven't found a person who wasn't willing to change and to do what we needed to do to keep our students safe, to have a laser focus on our student achievement, and to make Anderson 3 a premier place where we have pride, passion, and purpose every day. And that's why we talk about Anderson 3 winning together, because it takes all of us, and all of us working together will do what's best for students.
Search Anderson School District 3 South Carolina in the App Store or Play Store to explore the app for yourself. It's everything Anderson 3 in your pocket.